Hello everyone. Welcome to the GetBlock podcast. My name is Roman. I'm leading the marketing and sales team at GetBlock. Today with me from our side, Sergey. He's our DevRel specialist in GetBlock, and Vlad. He's our marketing lead, responsible for the content. And actually in this podcast, we invite representatives from the Web3 industry and talk with them about trends, news, and sometimes even like questionable or hyped narratives in Web3. And today we have a guest from Superteam Balkan, Matija. Thank you for joining us. And I'm sure this is going to be like a really interesting conversation. Why? First of all, why? Because actually, I know personally very little about how Superteam works. And that's true. I've never been a very active participant in the Solana ecosystem, to be honest. Of course, I've heard about Superteam, and I even know some of the people leading it, but I've never really taken the time to understand how it's structured or how it operates. At first, when we agreed to record this podcast, I thought I should probably prepare, of course, dive deeper, do some research, like come in more informed. But then I thought, why? Maybe it's actually better like this way. And I'm coming in with almost no context, but with a curiosity. So today, Matija, you will be as a guide for me and for our audience, helping us understand what Superteam actually is, because there is still some people who don't know a lot about this, and how it works, and what makes, for example, the Balkan region unique with it.
Amazing, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for the invitation. First of all, I'm very happy to be your Sherpa for Superteam, as we used to call our founder Cash, for this session. I mean, generally, I can tell you, like down the line from Superteam Global being founded, the entire history, or what's the context you're most interested in? There is a lot. This is eternally a problem for us when we're trying to present Superteam.
Yeah. That's cool. So I guess, we can just start. And Matija, first of all, before we start, I'd like to give you a couple of minutes, some time to present yourself, maybe about some projects you are doing right now, aside about Superteam Balkan, right? So maybe, as I saw that you are a founder of your own project, so please go ahead, just a couple of intro words from your side. Yeah.
For sure. I mean, I actually arrived on Solana in 2022, basically as a software developer. Slowly took over a project for Longwood Labs as CTO. We were making these on-chain idle games that were kind of a hit back in 2023. And then end of 2023 at Breakpoint in Amsterdam, my co-founder Marko from Belgrade and I basically talked Cash Danda, the then Superteam global lead, to give us our own Superteam. The expansion then was kind of into Asia. At that time, like Philippines, Malaysia, and all these Southeast Asian teams were announced. But we managed to shill hard enough for them to give us a chance. And now, 2 years later, we just celebrated our second birthday in Belgrade. I dare to say we're doing very, very well. As you can assume, I'm sitting on too many chairs. As you say, I have a project. It's not really a project, more so a development agency where we work with numerous founders in almost every vertical available in the space, effectively for the last 4 years. So we've seen all the ups and downs, and we're a very, very native team. So is the Superteam Balkan core team, all previous, let's say, trenchers. Like Marko, my co-founder, had back in 2021-22 the biggest Solana community in the Balkans, just organically created, and we kind of funneled all those expertises of his from the community side, mine from the technical side and the development side, and had the perfect setup for what today I dare to say is one of the more successful super teams, the only multinational super teams. We actually cover 11 countries, from Slovenia to Greece to Romania, Bulgaria, and even sometimes escaping those borders a little bit. But yeah, it's been very dynamic for us. It's kind of hard at times to manage a region that is so kind of, let's say, diverse with a very interesting history. So it really has been a challenge, and we've had some challenges that other super teams don't necessarily have. Germany is still self-contained. They all speak the same language. We kind of have to communicate in English still, and all these things. But yeah, current favorite project I would chill would be a super team project for sure, because we're deep in the weeds with setting up for the Coliseum Hackathon that's going to be happening in April until May. We have some very, very good founders, like Hoba is making the first self-repaying loans on Solana. This exists already on ETH, but not on Solana. We have some basically remittance projects such as Stamped. They're trying to figure out remittance payment for people that are working abroad, which is something we're very happy to support, as our region has a lot of people who are working abroad. Those kind of things. Basically just trying to make the ecosystem better. And our main goal is just starting this has always been kind of to bring capital into the Balkans. Definitely not a region known for startups and huge raises and such. So we're very happy to be able to provide founders in the region with opportunities that we didn't necessarily have when we were coming up.
Okay, got it. Thank you for this intro. So I definitely have a lot of things to specify right now, but I'm sure that we will cover them during the whole conversation. So yeah, okay, let's get started. So please tell me a little bit more about Superteam. I know that this is the concept which helps Solana to build communities in different places in the world and support these communities. But actually, this is all I know right now. So if you can share more details, what kind of problem they're trying to solve, how exactly. So yeah, please go ahead.
For sure. Yeah, so like the mission for Superteam has not been, let's say, the same mission since it was founded in 2021. Initially, they were just kind of fully community focused. Then slowly, we're focused more towards builders. Let's say in 2022, 23, just fully focusing on the hackathons, incubating as much talent as we can, bringing not just Web 2, developers, marketers, talented people, but also experts from other chains, ideally. Later on, the narrative kind of, I would say in 2025, like the main narrative was accessing institutions, basically. Potentially for some super teams, even affecting legislature. You can see in Super Team UK that they really had some major pushes towards parliament, just setting up stablecoin regulations, all this stuff that kind of brings us regulatory clarity and just helps literally anybody that's working in the space, whether you're a small startup or a huge corporation. And nowadays, I would say the main focus is just, again, towards bringing the top 1% of talent on Solana. As we all know, crypto's, let's call it a reputation, it's horrific outside our own circles. Like a lot of Web2 people have disdain for it. You can see, the other day, the OpenClaw founder had a problem with people trying to basically create a token and then spamming his accounts and all this. So we're trying to change that image. We're trying to be like the 5 to 10% of people in crypto who are actually building stuff, showing that to the top 1% of talent, ex-Microsoft, ex-FANG employees, and basically bringing those big-brained folks on-chain to help us build, as we like to say, the future of finance.
Okay, got it. So, let's imagine I'm the project and I want to build something on Solana blockchain. So I want to join the Superteam Balkan. What could I get? Of course, first of all, I can get like a community and connections, etc. But does the super team have something more than that? Not just connections, but something else.
For sure. So we provide a lot of stuff. And our biggest problem initially, like when a founder approaches us, is figuring out what's the best way to help. Like we can't push that on them. We can't like figure out what their project needs. They need to tell us. So the first thing is we mentioned, because for example, like lately we've had a huge influx of EVM, non-SVM projects come in. Some are EVM, some are Cardano, some are from all over the place. And the main thing we provide for them is kind of, you could call it co-marketing, but it's a bit more than that. So since crypto is still tribal to this day, people are not gonna like buy into your project if you're just a random dude that showed up from nowhere and they don't know you. So we're just trying to provide through KOLs, through our own channels, through some activations, kind of making those teams build trust with the Solana community, which reflects, you know, on their project substantially, especially when they're like initially acquiring users and things like that. We provide vetted employees. So we have a huge network right now of developers, designers of all kinds, marketers, you know, Twitter interns that we provide to our projects. In the case of the Twitter interns, we actually kind of raised those people ourselves. We have a little cabal in Superteam Balkans, and then we just provide those social media operations for any projects that may need them. Grants, of course, we provide grants to viable teams up to 10K. For larger ones, you know, you always have, you know, Solana Foundation, these other programs, but we're kind of a small injection of funds so you can quit your job and go full time on your idea. What else? Oh, we also have, very importantly, a huge VC network. So one of our points of focus definitely is helping our teams raise. And this is almost always like in the pre-seed or seed stage. In the Series A stage, they're kind of too big for us, so we kind of let them manage on their own. But our good colleague, Dusan Stanarevic, is a longtime VC with a network of like 20, 30 VC companies, and then he basically helps projects go through the raise, which is, you know, a lot of founders, I don't want to say worst nightmare, but kind of worst part of the job is going around begging for money. So we try to make that easier. And yeah, like literally anything, you know, creative that a founder may need. Partnerships in between all those teams. We're now in the triple digits, and it's getting very hard to manage all those teams. But we are the guys that are gonna, we're not compartmentalized, and we can see like any potential collaborations that could happen between those teams, and those usually work out very, very well.
Okay, got it. The first thing that you shared was like you have a team of different marketing specialists, community managers, etc. Is it like your own Superteam Balkan team, or it's like distributed network between different super teams around the world? And is it like, I don't know, full-time employees of I don't know, Solana or Superteam? How does it work actually?
There's layers. So in the core team, there's like 4 of us. It's me, Marco, Damien, our Devrel, who's Macedonian living in Slovenia, and our CMO, Marko Žegovic. And then we have some, let's call it external collaborators. So since we have to do a lot of content, videography, photography, our colleague just opened a subsidiary of Little Unusual, which is like this video company all across the world. He's handling the Balkans, and we usually go to him because he always provides us with great results. Same thing, design-wise, we have a partner agency. Development-wise, we have a partner agency we refer to. So like it's very important for the super teams to stay small, the core teams themselves. Then you have like a network of, let's say, 10 total people who are like absolutely your biggest supporters who are actually doing things. Then you have, I think we're up to 70 or 80 members right now. Not much is expected of them, but they're like actively contributing. They're at all the events, all the meetups, helping projects, and you know finding compatibilities as well. Then you have contributors, which is like a less serious member. I think those are like around 150, and then you just have these kind of non-community community members, which we call lurkers, because they're like just lurking and not necessarily contributing, but they are in the Discord, and right now we're at like 1,600 of those. So it is a huge community.
Okay, that's interesting. Cool. And okay, I just have let me think. I had a question. Just let me. Oh yeah. You mentioned that once a project wants to join the super team, you're discovering what kind of support they want to get. They need to get. And actually, you also mentioned that you can like distribute grants up to $10K. And actually, how do you decide which projects to support?
So like as far as support, like direct support, I'll leave the grants for a bit later because it's a different story.
Okay.
We'll take anybody that like is from the region, has any ties to the Balkans. That's our first kind of condition because we don't want to step on the other super teams. The second one would be, a viable project. Like the better the founder is, the more support they're gonna get from us because we kind of need to prioritize at this point. There's just like too many. It's unsustainable. So we usually like pick our top 10, 20, and we're like in DMs with them all day. It just means that they're like a proactive founder. They're behind the idea. They're all in on it. The idea itself, is looking like it could find product market fit. And that's how I ID them. There's also some projects that could be maybe classified as AI slop, not to look down on anybody. But if it's a solo founder, it's like a 19-year-old kid from college. Like we'll help him, but this guy is probably not building the next Microsoft, Tesla bump fund or whatever. So he'll get a bit, unfortunately, less love from us. But yeah, we really try to help everybody. And that's kind of, I'm proud of like Superteam Balkans in particular being known for like, we turn down nobody, will always try to help you, which is to our own kind of doom, because we're glued to Telegram 24 hours a day. But, just never want to see a team let down and not be given support. As far as grants are a bit different. So like I said, up to 10K. But like unless you're like a very proven team that's been with us for a long period of time, proven they can deliver, even like won a previous edition of Coliseum, it's more likely like you're gonna get 3 to 5K, and that's only if the idea is good, if the grant submission is good. If you actually need the money, if somebody raised whatever. An angel round of 200 grand, like we're not going to give him a grant because he definitely doesn't need that. All these kind of, I don't know, honestly common sense arguments, and a lot of grant submissions, as you can assume, are spam and are very easy to kind of reject and move on from. But we always provide at least 2 rounds of calls to actually make sure that the founder is qualified and can deliver on what they promise. Effectively.
Okay, I got it. Thank you. Can you share a couple of success stories from the Superteam Balkan about very cool project which is famous enough in Solana community? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. We have a bunch. So I got to start with Solana ID, which is Simon Molitor. He was we call him member number 0. When we had just started in the first Coliseum edition, I think it was like Radar or Renaissance Hackathon. He actually won nothing at the hackathon, not even an honorable mention, absolutely nothing. Didn't even flinch on that, continued building, and he raised 1.3 million. Project is still ongoing to this day, so that was like 2 years ago. And what he's building is basically enabling growth marketing for crypto. So he's letting people with wallets sign up for a reputation system. It kind of tracks their usage, gives them, let's call it points. And then you as a company, let's say I'm a gaming company and I want to target gamers with my product launch. And people, when they're wallets, you really can't identify them. Like, are you gonna, if you're sending NFTs, giving away free money through an airdrop to try to acquire users, you don't know who you're targeting, and Solana ID solves for this. So you can then analyze and see, okay, these 1,000 people all played all the gaming titles on Solana that came out during the last year. I definitely want to target these people and kind of bait them and attract them to my product launch, which I think is great. And he's 2 years later, he's still pushing strong, which I think is a huge statement in our space. Many more of those, like the Hoba self-repaying loans, which I mentioned. He started as kind of a mom and pop's saving app, trying to provide what we call normal APY in crypto to normies, because still today banks are going to give you 0.25% on your savings, and through an APY relatively low, through a DeFi relatively low risk protocol, you can get 5 to 7% easily. He later pivoted, and now with Hoba, he's just winning awards all over the place. We just came back from the biggest fintech conference in Split in Zagreb, where they won first place after pitching, and we're really proud of those guys.
Cool. Got it. And when we started, you already said that you are like leading the Solana community, Superteam Balkan community for 2 years, right? Yeah. Actually, why did you decide to join the Solana exactly? Because right now there is for example, there is a alternative like Ethereum, for example, right? Or maybe other EVM chains, etc. Or I don't know, maybe Cardano, but of course I know that this is like okay, let's move on. Why Solana? Why Solana?
Yeah, so not to, I don't know if we can swear, not to bullshit you guys here. I just had an opportunity. My friend called me. He no longer wanted to be CTO of the gaming project I mentioned, and he called me for help to basically inherit him. But even initially before that, as I was, let's call it, investing back in 2019, 2018, the promise of just faster and cheaper transactions seemed so obvious to me, and if for some reason it wasn't that obvious then. But it's not a small difference. It's not just a UX thing where you're waiting 1 second or 15 seconds. It then enables you, especially at high-speed trading systems and all these things, to do things that you literally cannot do on Ethereum. Hoba is a good example because they're doing buy now, pay later as a feature of their application. And I already said, this exists on Ethereum, the self-repaying loans, but they can't do the buy now, pay later on Ethereum because of technical limitations. So first of all, Solana just seemed technically superior. But the bigger point for me personally, ETH people are kind of academic. There's this thing of ETH aligned, and on Solana here we have the core Anza devs flaming totally on the timeline every day. Everybody's just kind of much more relaxed. Nobody's afraid to speak up when they think something is not okay. Right now on the timeline you can see Dean M. Little, who is one of the best Rust devs in the ecosystem, kind of flaming Solana Foundation for a feature they put out. Foundations should not or should do these things. And now there's an open debate. And every other week there's something like this. And I think that's the way to progress. And also the kind of, for a long time there was the Solana keeps going down narrative. But that's actually kind of a good thing in my eyes. It's kind of the move fast, break things kind of mentality instead of 5-year roadmaps. And the entire community kind of has adjusted and adopted that. The last time Solana failed, I think it was 18 months ago. The price didn't move. People weren't panicking. It's just normal. We're just trying to innovate and build things, and these things are gonna happen sometimes. And that definitely attracted me. I don't consider myself an academic or this bougie guy. I just like a natural working atmosphere that's right to the point and where people innovate.
Got it. Okay, that's fair. Thank you. How do you see the future of Solana? So for just a context here, because this is a Solana breakpoint.
I know.
2025. Yeah. So we've been there several months ago in Abu Dhabi, and there were a lot of conversations about I would say like enterprise approach, and for example this integration with REPL, integration with like banks, etc. So right now everyone speaks about that, right? If you go to, I don't know, DevConnect to Ethereum, they say the same, right? But for now, looks like Solana moving towards like enterprises, not just trading, DeFi, etc., but towards the, for example, real world assets, huge institutionals, etc. And actually, what do you think about that? And how do you see the future of Solana?
I think that's definitely happening. I wouldn't necessarily, I would say like in 2025, it was more so an institutional approach for the institutions. Like we wanted those like Western Union, Visa, all these deals to kind of gain legitimacy, especially since, there is this narrative after Pump Fund of like Solana being the scam chain, all this, there has been, gray activities, kind of being a big chunk of the transactions happening. Namely, Pump is the perfect example. So this is kind of the direction that they're going, trying to negate that, let's say. But more so, I would say you shouldn't assume that's necessarily the approach moving forward. The approach right now, from what I'm seeing, is just like get every asset on chain. So if you saw, they brought Monad on Solana. I know recently there was another one, but like natively as they launched, now we have a protocol. I think it's Sunset. I forget what's the name. It was made by the Wormhole guys who built the bridging programs. And it's just like day one, as soon as any asset launches, we want it to be on Solana, tradable, liquid, and that is, in my opinion, also how we win. So like at that point where like everything is being traded through Solana, that's when the ecosystem has won, and that's when we have like the huge advantage over everybody else. And I think it's the right approach. Like, don't look at Monad as our enemy or like competition or anything silly like that. Like, just bring them into the fold, and they can transact on our huge, faster than light, computer. And that's it.
Got it. Guys, do you want to add something? Maybe you have dozens of questions and I'm just pushing with all this stuff.
Well, I can. Actually, I have only one question. First of all, I'm a huge fan of what Superteam is doing. I first met you guys a year ago on Solana Crossroads in Istanbul. It was like 50 or 60 guys from Superteam
There's a
Balkan.
lot of us always. Yeah.
And even I was like amazed and very surprised when you organized two side events on ETH Belgrade 1 year ago. So the question is, I know that you have a lot of copycats. Like there are a lot of blockchains and protocols who try to steal this model, like Berachain, Berabadis, Mega ETH Mafia, and so on, and Monad guys, and so on. But who was your inspiration? We can say that it was built from scratch, but who inspired you? Whose model inspired the creation of Superteam Balkan? If it is not 100% unique, if it is, I will be.
So, interesting question. That's a very good question. So, it's actually kind of inspired by this thing I was a part of before Superteam for 5 years. It's called. It has an unfortunate name for the crypto industry, but it's called Dump Association. And it's kind of this, it's a community of like devs, marketers, and designers, multimedia people in Split, Croatia. And it's kind of a very elite group where like 300 people apply every year and like 3 to 5 people get in. And most of the people I brought into Superteam are from there. So we basically applied a lot of these processes to Superteam Balkans and kind of mixed them up with what Superteam Global gave us. But it's the same kind of model where we as kids back then, organized 3,000 people conferences, biggest conference in Split, Croatia for developers, had these educational cycles of lectures that will last for like 3 months. Our designer is from there, our former videographer is from there, our former marketer is from there. So like literally just applying that, and I didn't create that, I inherited that association. But I really do think it's like the best place for young people in the entirety of the Balkans, and hence we just like applied their processes to Superteam Balkan. With the biggest difference being we had to kind of adjust to the remote mode of work because like half our team is in Belgrade, half of them is in Split. It's a 10-hour drive, to reach each other. So like the process had to be adjusted a little bit, but that really was the main inspiration, kind of funnily.
Wow, I see. And one more from me, like from the success of super team, each and every super team in the world, I can say that you know how to do social things, community things, and so on. And who else knows? Who of your competitors, who of your friends you might mention as the blockchains with good community initiatives, good community activities? Like,
interesting. I would say, like, I actually don't look too much outside of Solana. I have too much to do here already. But like honorable mention to maybe the Cosmos guys. I've had some contact with them, and they've really they had a great conference here in Split. The vibes of those guys are always, on point. There's some former Polygon people that are cool, like especially on the Serbian side, but. Yeah, I would say the Binance guys are like doing the best job after us. Yeah, Sandros Lukan and those people, those events really look sick and like they're a bit less. I would say potentially. I haven't been to any of them. They seem to be a little bit less kind of builder oriented and more so like trader oriented. Of course, as it's Binance standing behind that. And it's a lot more champagne and partying, less hackathons. But I think they're doing a great job.
Okay, I see. Well, we have one BD guy, one of our longest serving BD guys in Zadar, and he always attends events in Split. So yep, we know about Cosmoverse, and this GetBlock was a part of it. Yep. So Matija, thanks that you provided amazing perspective.
Thank you for the good questions.
Yeah, Sergey, you want to add something?
Yeah.
Cool. Go ahead.
Totally. Yeah, first of all, here in Argentina, I'm based in Buenos Aires. I just recently went to some of the Binance parties. Yeah, a lot of champagne, that's true.
Yeah.
less technical stuff, obviously. But their business model, I mean, this is a B2C business. So sometimes you need to attract people by those means also. So, yeah. It's all good. I actually want to ask you about, as your representative of the Superteam Balkan, are there any unique cultural or probably economic factors in Balkans that can make some products more popular and valuable than other? Because here in Latin America, we definitely have this problem, for example, with inflation. And I see that many projects try to make projects based on stable coins. I just recently had a conversation with guys who are trying to make a stable coin on Argentinian peso. So yeah, I'm really interested about the Balkan specific.
Yes, so we're extra weird because there's like, you have the EU border running through the middle of our kind of area. So like Slovenia and Croatia are very European Union countries, Serbia is not. Montenegro is in the Eurozone, but it's not in the EU. Greece is then in the EU, so is Romania. It's a very, very kind of strange area. We don't really have the stablecoin thing you're mentioning is like more present in Turkey. We luckily don't have explosively depreciating local currencies. But let's say, so first of all, I gotta say it, gambling is huge here. You have like a Riviera, Admiral.
waiting and waiting.
Yeah. Like there's more of them than supermarkets, dude. The other thing, a big specificity of the region, we're the only region in the world where the number of people that own crypto and that own stocks is the same. So it's like 18%, I think. And in every other normal civilized society, you know, 3 times more people own stocks than own crypto, which is very interesting. So it does depend. A lot of, as I mentioned, Stampt, one of our projects, a lot of remittance happening. We have a huge culture of people going to Germany, to Ireland, to France, to Canada to work. So those kind of cross-border payments solutions are very needed here. Also like banking solutions, because banking sometimes can be a nightmare, especially for like the Serbian side, where there's like less regulation and all this. But people are the biggest difference is I would say people are very eager to use crypto, actually, because there's a huge distrust of government here. Just like if you look at the last like 30, 50 years of history, you're going to be very clear on why. But people would much rather self custody their funds rather than bank it, for sure. Which is great for any neobank products that are hot right now, for sure.
Yeah, totally understandable, because we also have this thing with zero trust towards any government issue in Argentina. So sometimes I even saw some memes that Balkans and Latinos are just,
100%.
We're like alike in some things.
I'm fascinated by this, but I also claim the same, that Latinos and Balkan people are like this, man, and it's just like the crappy governments we've had over the last couple hundred years.
Let's come back a little bit to Solana, because we still have some time, and I just want to use this opportunity to ask a couple of more questions. So, Matija, you said that you are a developer. Your background is in software development, and
yes, I'm a manager for the last 2 years. I can't. My boys are gonna bully me if somebody says I'm still a software developer. Just got to be clear here.
Okay, I got it. But still, I think the question is relevant here. So, what do you think is the main problem or problems right now in Solana, which you can solve by building different products right now?
Interesting question. Biggest problem in what way? You're looking like you're asking from like a product side or something else?
I think we can take both angles, technical and product side. For example, to solve main issues from technical side again, and issues from, for example, mass adoption, we could say.
So, okay, from the technical side, I would say the biggest challenge, and it is being worked on right now, is the like Alpenglow consensus mechanism, where we're going to get like finality. So right now you get like confirmed transactions in 300 milliseconds, and they're finalized, which means like fully confirmed in like 10 to 15 seconds. And when Alpenglow drops, and when the Anza X Solana Labs guys finish that, we're going to have finality in like 300 milliseconds, which is huge for like a host of applications. I've spoken to like banks where they say that they need like sub 100 millisecond finality, or they can't put their protocol on chain and all these things. So that's going to open up a crazy amount of possibilities. On the user side, nobody has solved the onboarding. Like nobody. Onboarding is still very bad. Like getting the initial gas you need to get on your wallet, kind of just managing your seed phrase, all this. I know it's very basic, and it's like a problem we've been battling since Bitcoin is a thing, but it needs to be solved. Stuff like Privy and these like email login things are kind of battling that issue. Privy just got acquired by Stripe a couple months ago, which speaks volumes about like how big the issue is, but nothing has like solved it in fully yet. And when that's solved, that's when we can get mass adoption. Before that, it's going to be very difficult with people writing out, these 24-word phrases on their papers and all this. Just not viable as a solution.
Thank you. Vlad, you turned on your microphone. You want to add something or?
No.
No. Okay. Got it. It was lovely 42 minutes of conversation. I suppose I have Vlad, you want to add something, right?
If we are now talking about like some tech things from developers' perspective, Matija, what would be the ideal RPC node provider for you? What should it do? What should it have? Well, set the next benchmark for GetBlock. We're here to talk this.
For sure, man, for sure. So I've been here, as I said, since 2022. Back in the day, RPCs used to lie to us. There was a couple times where I had a dev send out, $20,000 in NFTs. RPC returns it didn't pass. He restarts it and ends up sending double, losing couple dozen grand for the client. So very, very good error handling, very descriptive error handling, very clear on what is happening when errors do arise. Good alerting system for when there's delays. You can realistically never have 100% uptime with zero delays in slot latencies and things like this. So just communicating that to the devs. Well, webhooks are no longer optional. People definitely need webhooks or a good a way with good UX to listen to on-chain events. Because as we all know, Solana is huge. I think the ledger right now is in the hundreds of terabytes, and just took a while till we got to a solution that listens to events properly, doesn't drop them. I would say last year that got a lot better, and good pricing. What can I tell you?
Not surprised.
It's a pleasure to know that everything that GetBlock has everything you mentioned, but okay, it's just okay. And by the way, what kind of RPC provider do you use for your projects?
We've mainly used and recommended Helios for our clients. It's kind of easiest out of the box, and the free plan is good. But in my opinion, I don't know if this is I'm shilling somebody else, but Triton I think is the best RPC provider on Solana right now, for sure. Shout out Steve Cleanbrook and the team there. They're really doing crazy BD. They're at all the events. They're just double timing it.
This is true. To be honest, this is the two very good teams for Solana projects. This is obvious, and we are inspiring by them every time when we are trying to improve our Solana nodes, etc. And actually, we succeed. But I don't want to do this promotion here. It's just a conversation between all of us. So, okay, got it. Guys, do you want to add something? Or I have a final question for Matija. So, that's all. That's all from our side. Good. Okay, Matija, this is the final question, I guess. So, I suppose that some early stage builders or young developers gonna see this conversation, and I just want you to give the recommendation for them. What should they think about before launching their first product, for example?
What should they think about before launch? Nothing. They should just start building it, and as the problems arise, as they start sweating, losing hair, chewing glass, and regretting their decision, and as they keep going, they should, you'll find new problems, new answers, new questions. It's how you develop a startup. Just get off your butt and start doing stuff. You can just do things. That's the biggest advice I can give to anybody. And that's what a startup is. Nobody knows the answer. None of these, Travis Kalanick, Steve Jobs, whatever, none of them have the answers. They're just kind of doing stuff, getting the feedback, fixing, iterating, and just keep going forward. And you gotta have a strong constitution not to give up, especially Web 2 is hard enough. Web 3 is that on steroids, you know, with the market, with everything, you know, exploding around you. If you can keep your sanity, you're going to end up on top, and I can guarantee that.
Wise words. Wise words.
Traumatized words, I gotta say, but you know.
Spreading
But
the
still.
trauma. Spreading the trauma, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Thank you, Matija. Thank you very much for this conversation. And guys, thank you for joining us today. And I recommend you to join, if you are in the Balkan region, I recommend you to join Superteam Balkan and join their hackathon, which will be in April till May, right?
For sure, yeah. So another cycle of the Coliseum Hackathon happening April 5th until May 11th.
Got it. Okay. Thank you, Matija, again. Thank you very much for this conversation. Hope to see you on the ATH Belgrade.
Yes, and that's going to be happening in August. We're actually co-organizing it with them in the same space. So we're really good friends with the Belgrade guys. So show up 26th of August in Belgrade.
Yes. They move it to the end of the summer, so
yeah. Thank you guys for the great questions. Like, honestly, a very, originally curious interview. I really had fun with the questions. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.